Hey Muse Makers, welcome back. We're here today for a very special episode. We're celebrating Mother's Day, and the theme for this painting is Get Your Pink Back. This is a beginner-friendly tutorial, so feel free to grab your supplies and join along. Now here is all our materials and how it should all be set out. We have our lovely canvas here. I also have all of my paints, all these acrylic paint colors that I'm using today. I have red, blue, black, white, and yellow. I also have some other mixing plates to mix up some other colors on. I have my paint brushes, some paper towels, and a thing with water in it to clean my brushes off. Now, if you're looking for all these materials, we do have these paint kits that are perfect for any craft you're doing at home. They consist of so many things that are perfect for any craft, including this paint palette. They have all these little wells to mix up your colors in. It comes with a pack of 3 brushes, a large, medium, and small brush. It also comes with a paint acrylic set, just like this one. It has the 3 primary colors and black and white. And then it comes with an 8x10 canvas. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with our background, and we're going to be using a large flat brush, sort of like this one here. It's nice and square at the end, but if it's round at the end, that's okay too. We're going to start off by mixing a light sky blue, and with this color, we're going to be creating it with a scoop of white, a nice big scoop of white, a little touch of blue, and a very, very, very small touch of yellow, because we want the blue to be a little bit more towards the cerulean blue, or just like a more warm type of blue. Mix, mix, mix. And then what we're going to do with that blue is find our horizon line. The horizon line is what divides the sky and the ground, or the water, or vice versa. So we're going to use the blade of our brush, just that tip edge, to get a nice thin line that's about 1/3 of the way down from the top of our canvas all the way across. It's okay if it's not perfect at first, you can adjust it. Then we're going to take that blue and we're going to start filling above that line. I would say just above halfway in our sky, leaving about 1 inch or 2 at the top. Then I'm going to take some white paint into the blue that we created for the sky and use the lighter version to throw it above our darker blue in our sky and blend the 2 colors together. I like to use long paint strokes in between the 2 colors to help them blend. Now you do need both colors to be wet, so if one is dry, you might have to come back to the other, or even add a little bit of water to help them blend them out. Then with that lighter blue, you're just going to fill up the rest of the top of your sky. Now let's talk about the water. So for this water, we're going to create a medium blue with a scoop of white and a scoop of blue and mix them together. This is going to be covering most of our water. I'm going to start towards the top of my water and leave about 1 inch or 2 just at the top. I'm going to throw a little bit of this in at first, and then we're going to be taking some straight dark blue paint along that top edge of our water and blend it down the same way we did with the light blue in our sky. You really want to make sure that the line at the top of the water is nice and crisp and clean, so I recommend using the blade of your brush or just that tip edge of your brush to get a nice clean cut line after you blend these 2 blues together. Then I'm going to be going back into my medium blue and filling in my water almost down the way to the bottom, leaving about 1 inch or 2. Getting back into my sky blue that we made in the beginning and adding that to the bottom edge and blending upwards into that medium blue shade. With a clean flat brush, we're going to get back into that sky blue shade. Using the blade of our brush, we're going to draw really thin lines all throughout our water. mainly staying in the bottom half area, but you can see some lines are long, some lines are short, and they're staggered. They're not just all in one place, they're not all the same length. Then we're going to create the shadow for where our island is going to sit. So with a clean square flat brush or round flat brush, we're then going to get into straight dark blue right from our palette, and we're going to be drawing a line on this left edge and just bring it almost into the middle. This is just the shadow underneath of our island. We're going to thicken it up a little bit by using the full width of our brush just underneath of that line, and then we have a little shadow. Next up, we're going to be talking about clouds. I'm going to be using a medium-sized brush. If it's round at the edge, that's perfect. We're going to dip it in some white paint, and the way to make these clouds is by doing a circular motion with your brush, pushing the brush up to create these little hills, and at the end of your cloud, you're going to use really, really light pressure to get nice thin wisps on the edges. We're going to make some clouds nice and big, and some clouds nice and small. Next, we're going to take our small pointy brush in black paint to create our island. Above that dark blue line we put in our water, I'm going to throw a black line going across it. And then we're going to draw a hill starting on the left side that's up higher, and we're then going to draw a hill going downwards to meet the end of that straight line we first put in. Then, once you have it drawn out, you can fill it all in with that black paint. Next up, we're going to draw our palm tree. So first, we're going to be starting with the trunk of our tree using our small pointy brush and black paint. I'm going to start somewhere up in the sky and draw a nice thin line over to the corner where the land meets the left side of our canvas. Then to create the leaves, we're going to start off by creating an umbrella skeleton where we have these arms that curve out from the center point, which is the top of the palm tree's base or the trunk. I'm going to be drawing about 6 to 7 of these arms. You can see some are more down towards the trunk, some are sticking further up straight. You basically just want to create this sort of like star or firework like shape. Then when it comes to the actual leaves, we're going to be drawing shorter lines that start from the center point on the arm. These are little curved lines. They curve over and down, over and over and over again, sort of layered along the edge of each leaf arm. Now it's time to paint the center of the show, the flamingos. So we're going to be creating a light pink shade with a scoop of white, a tiny dash of red, and a very, very small dash of yellow, just to bring it to that more of like a salmony pink color. Once you have the color that you like, we're going to start off by drawing out the bodies of the flamingos. One of our flamingos just has sort of like a circular oval shaped body, like a little bean. This is the only one like it. The other two have more of a shape that resembles an eye, where they kind of have a curved top and they're more pointed at the ends. Now the head and neck are sort of like a little hook/S shape. The one with the bean-shaped body or the circular-shaped body, the neck kind of goes in the middle of the body just like so, kind of looks like a little candy cane, if you will. Just make sure that the head is nice and round at the end. For the other two, it's the same sort of shape, but the neck is going to connect on the edge of the body as opposed to the middle. Next, we want to add some feather details. So to that pink, I'm going to add a scoop of red and mix it up to create a hot pink. With a small pointy brush, we're going to find the lines that create the wings or the feathers for our flamingos. These are very simple and easy shapes, nothing super intricate, little curved lines that accentuate different parts of your flamingo. Whether it's the neck, the chest, the tail, or the wing, we're gonna throw those little lines in there now. You can feel free to copy along with where I put mine or place them wherever you like. Then with a clean pointy brush, we're going to be going into some white paint to add lines like we did with the hot pink, but this time these lines are highlight lines. So you can add little dash marks in the wings to again accentuate the feathery look. You can add highlights to the head or the neck or the chest area just to really make your flamingos pop, right? Because they're the center of attention in this painting. After that, get a clean brush and we're going to put the pointy brush in our black paint to create the beaks. So we want to add very light pressure at the tip of the beak and press harder as we pull the line towards the face of our flamingo. So it'll be nice and thick where it touches the face and thin at the end. With the black paint, we're also going to be drawing the feet. The legs are so thin, so use very light pressure. Some of these crisscross over each other, like this one here in the front. These legs almost create the number 4. And at the joints of your legs, wherever they bend, we're going to put like a little circle at the joint. And if you can see the foot, we're going to draw a little line that is a little diagonal from the leg, so that way you can tell that that is the foot and not just the leg. This one over here, I'm going to draw one line down, figure out where its knee is, put that little circle in, and then I have a little bent leg over to the left. Same sort of thing with my last flamingo as well. Now to make it look like they're really standing in the water, we want to add ripples right underneath their feet. So with our small pointy brush, get it nice and clean in white paint. We're going to draw a line underneath of the feet and then these curved parenthesis lines around the outside edge. Almost like if you drop something in water and you see the ripples. That is what we are creating here. Next up, we are going to go ahead and add a little sparkles to our water because when you see the sun shining on the water, it sparkles. So with that white paint, we're going to draw a couple little dots here and there towards the bottom of our water in little consecutive lines of like between 2 to 5 dots each. We're going to do the same thing, but with our light sky blue that we used towards the top of the sky, we're going to throw some dots of that throughout the water as well. Now next up, we're going to be creating some brown that is going to be going into the trunk and the ground in our island. To create that, we do have to mix up some yellow and black paint within the pink paint that we have, little ratios of both, trying to figure out the perfect shade of brown that you like, and add these little tick marks going along the side all the way up the trunk of our tree. Then on the ground, we're going to be adding little tiny wave lines just to resemble little rocks or texture in our ground. Next, we're going to be adding some green into our palm tree leaves. So with the small pointy brush, going to grab some yellow paint and mix it within the blue paint that we use for our sky. Then with that, we're basically going to redraw the same lines we did for the palm tree leaves to add the green color on top of the black. But use light pressure so that way some of the black paint still shows up right behind it. Now the last step is to make that island really pop out against the water. So with white paint and a clean pointy brush, we're gonna just draw a couple of lines right underneath that island to make it pop. Now once you're done with your painting, don't forget to sign it, and we would love to see what you're painting at home. Feel free to post on social media and tag us at muse_paintbar so we can check them out. Also make sure and like, subscribe to see anything else we have going on for all of our tutorials. And with that, don't forget to always paint outside the lines.